Swinging back through Georgia, we find ourselves at a Zamias classic, the Houston County Galleria. Zamias Services never had a good track record with their malls, and many of them floundered over the years. Although it seems the current owners of Houston County Galleria have found ideas to keep the mall viable. Let's take a look and see how they're doing. Houston County Galleria, located in Centerville, Georgia, is actually a 90s mall through and through, with Zamias Services building the mall in 1990, but hitting a financial roadblock with lenders, which delayed construction well past an expected 1992 opening date. The mall wouldn't open until November 9, 1994. Original anchors present at the mall were Belk Matthews, JCPenney, Sears, and Goodies, alongside 44 inline stores, which included the likes of KB Toys, Hallmark, Foot Locker, and Fashion Bug, among others. JCPenney, however, would arrive late to the party in 1995. What you might not know is that the Galleria was a mall killer, pulling Sears and Belk away from the older established Houston Mall nearby in Warner Robins. Attempts to fill in the mall as a community-oriented center were made, but all in all, the Houston Mall would never live on as a traditional mall again. Today, that same mall is now a medical complex, proving that a mall can be reconfigured for other uses. Unfortunately, despite being in what was reported as a strong retail corridor for the region, and having the nearby Robins Air Force Base, it is possible that Macon Mall, which was all the rage back in the day, was a strong enough draw for shoppers in Centerville and Warner Robins. Another thing to consider is that Zamias Services was never all that good with mall management, and I'm sure the biggest factor was overcharging for rent, which can drive out a lot more stores than you may realize. It is also possible that there could be negligence on their part, or improper marketing, if any at all. While the mall had space for 6 anchors, it only opened with 4 anchors and secured a movie theater as a 5th anchor. The 6th space would sit empty for the longest time until recently, which we'll get back to later. Goodies would close in 2009, becoming a temporary home for a conference center and seasonal pop-ups, before finally becoming a secondary Belk store. Sears, meanwhile, would get seared in 2018. Spinoso would acquire the mall from Zamias Services, the specific date of when I was unable to find, and management at the time would announce plans in 2019 to overhaul the mall's interior, inserting a new Wi-Fi corner and children's play area, which would be nice if they didn't rip out a fountain in favor of that. The renovation also brought in new lighting, which helped brighten up the interior spaces especially, and was then consequently ruined by a neutral gray color being painted everywhere. And, come 2022, apartments would finally be built up in the place of the 6th anchor, beginning the mall's conversion into a lifestyle center. If it's done correctly, this would be the best of both worlds, with interior shopping and services and exterior recreation and residential. The Sears store would also get overhauled to make room for a Crunch fitness center. So far, so good. However, a major problem would occur in January 2023, a few months after I arrived on the scene. A water main break would occur, closing both the mall and the movie theater. While the mall reopened after a short time, the movie theater announced that they would be closed for the foreseeable future. Maintenance issues are becoming more commonplace among malls, and people are starting to take notice of this. And this can kill the forward momentum of a struggling mall that's trying to adapt to changing times. Maybe management and the property owners can shrug this off as the mall shifts towards a community-oriented setting, but only time will tell if this mall can stand its test. Okay, I don't hate this mall. Let me get that out of the way first. It's got a decent vibe to it, and it's at least tastefully done with its black and white floors and an open ceiling with an odd warehouse look. Although the neutral gray color that they decided to use, along with everyone else and their mother, it's not doing anything for me. I'm not good at explaining things, but I'm going to try for a moment. At the cost of going off on a tangent, here's the problem, or at least the problem I have, with the color gray. Not only is this a color that everyone and their mother is using nowadays, and I'm getting sick and tired of seeing it, but when it's the only contrast you have with the color white, it gives me a rather depressing vibe. And I don't mean depression as in inherent sadness, but depression as in that lack of emotion or feeling, which is actually pretty close to true depression. Now, in the bigger picture, someone mentioned that we are going through an architectural crisis right now, and some of this is born out of the encroaching safety regulations and or restrictions, as well as a drive for Ferengi levels of profit. Bonus points if you get the reference. There are more factors at play, and I'm oversimplifying a bit, but it does shed some light as to why everything is starting to look the same. You ever see that meme photo that shows McDonald's from the 1990s or even early 2000s, and then it's contrasted with the 2020s? I don't remember the wording used, but it basically implied that McDonald's went from a young child full of energy and happiness to a depressed middle-aged adult. And that is modern architecture today. And for all intents and purposes, I hate it. I'd love to talk more about the Houston County Galleria, but it's already time to go. Thanks for having me, Houston County, Georgia, and until next time, this is Doomie Grunt wishing you and your Galleria farewell and good luck in the future. Why are the most popular colors in modern design white and gray anyway? What are you, racist?